My family left my 18-year-old daughter in a no-go country, no passport, no help. My nephew and his sister just laughed, said her panic was hilarious and priceless. I stayed quiet, made moves. Next morning, security was at their door. When they finally strolled into the resort lobby, I had to do a double take. There they were, my parents, my sister Vanessa, her two kids, Zane and Sierra, all smiles, chatting like this was just some casual getaway, but Ivy wasn't with them. My daughter, 18 years old. I scanned the entrance again, thinking she'd show up right behind them. Maybe she just ducked into the bathroom or stopped for a drink. Something simple, but no one glanced back. No one even said her name. I felt Malik shift next to me. He noticed it too. "Where's Ivy?" I asked, my voice coming out sharper than I planned. I was trying to keep it casual, but my gut was already twisting. Dad didn't break stride. "She's probably on the next flight." "Next flight?" I repeated it, not quite believing it. Mom waved her hand like it was no big deal. "She lost her passport during the layover. Some sort of airport chaos, apparently. She's figuring it out," Mom added, and just like that my chest clenched. It was that kind of moment where your body knows something's off before your brain even catches up. "She lost it during the layover," I said slowly. "In London?" They all hesitated. That kind of pause that makes your stomach drop through the floor. "Not exactly," Dad finally said. Malik shifted again. "What do you mean, not exactly?" "Oh well," Mom said, a little too cheerfully, "our original flight was cancelled. But your dad found us a better deal," she added. "2 layovers. Saved a ton. The airline wasn't even gonna tell us." Dad jumped in, sounding proud. "But I pushed for it. Think we got some backdoor special or something. Sudan was faster and cheaper," he said. "Win-win." Malik blinked. "Sudan." I turned fully toward them now. "You rerouted through Sudan." Dad shrugged. "Lots of empty seats, plus we got compensation for the delay. We actually came out ahead." "And where exactly did she lose her passport?" I asked, though I already knew. "In Sudan," Dad said. "You've got to be kidding." I looked from one face to the next, waiting for someone to laugh. Nothing, just silence. "Right," I said again. Vanessa looked completely uninterested. Sierra was already glued to her phone. Zane elbowed her and laughed. "You should have seen her face when she realized," he said. "It was hilarious," Sierra added, smirking. "She totally lost it. Full-on meltdown," Zane said. "I thought she was gonna pass out. I wish I got it on video." "She looked like one of those prank fails," Sierra giggled. I just stared, and I couldn't figure out what shocked me more, the words they were saying, or how casually they said them. "You left her," I said quietly. "You actually left her behind." Mom folded her arms. "We didn't leave her. She lost her passport," Dad said. "She's 18, not a kid." Vanessa sighed. "You're being dramatic. She said she'd handle it." "You're telling me," I said slowly, "that my daughter lost her passport in a country listed as do not travel. And you left her there, alone." "She's smart," Mom said. "You've always said that." Now Malik stepped forward. His voice was calm, but I could see the tension in his jaw. "Why didn't one of you stay with her? Just one adult, that's all it would have taken." "And miss the flight?" Dad asked, like he didn't understand the question. "We're already here. What were we supposed to do?" "You weren't supposed to reroute through a high-risk country in the first place," Malik said sharply. "You should have told us," he added. "We didn't want to start drama," Vanessa muttered. "Well, now you've got it," I snapped. I grabbed my phone and started calling, straight to voicemail. Malik tried too. Nothing. "Maybe her phone died," Mom said. "We told her to stay near the help desk." "What desk?" I asked. "The one in the airport where you left her?" No one answered that. "You're always acting like she can't survive without you," Vanessa muttered. Malik let out a slow, controlled breath that somehow sounded louder than a scream. "She's alone, in Sudan, with no passport, no local contact, no embassy, and you thought she could just figure that out?" Sierra finally looked up. "She didn't even want to go through Sudan," she said. Kept going on and on about how unsafe it was. Like, it's not safe for women this, and we shouldn't be rerouting that. Zane snorted. "She was acting like a baby. Maybe she should just stay there. Fits in better." I blinked. "Excuse me," I said. He looked up, still grinning, unbothered. "I mean, her dad's black, right? So she blends in more than we do." Malik's arm tensed at my side. Vanessa jumped in fast. "He didn't mean it like that. I didn't say anything bad." Zane shrugged. "She was just being dramatic over nothing." I looked at that boy, then at Vanessa, then at my parents. And something inside me shifted. It didn't break. Not exactly. More like something slipped out of place, quietly, painfully, like a dislocated joint. I turned to Malik. "We're fixing this," I said. My voice didn't even tremble. He nodded once, already pulling up flight options on his phone. Behind me, Mom called out, "You don't have to make a scene." But I wasn't making a scene. Not yet. That part was still coming. I'd spent my whole life chasing decency from people who only ever handed it out with strings attached. When we were kids, Vanessa could have burned down the kitchen and they'd say, "She's just passionate." Meanwhile, I once got grounded for asking what bourgeois meant at dinner. Apparently that made me smug. You'd think becoming an adult would level the playing field, but nope. The golden child routine just followed Vanessa into motherhood. She had Zane and Sierra, and just like that she became the brave single mom doing her best. Every time she fed them candy for dinner or flipped out at a cashier, Mom would just whisper, "Parenting is hard." Meanwhile, when Ivy was 4 and started crying at a birthday party because she didn't want to hit the piñata, my dad called her too sensitive. "You've got to toughen her up," he told me. "You can't coddle her forever." By the time Ivy reached high school, she was racking up achievements like it was her job. honor roll, math club champ, she even secured a competitive science grant at 17. But somehow, every time she did something amazing, someone in the family would shift the focus. That's great, Mom said once. But you don't want to be just book smart. You should try a sport. Like basketball. Basketball. She's 5'3", asthmatic, and has the coordination of a baby giraffe. But sure. Or my personal favorite. Being smart is good, but being well-rounded is better. Meanwhile, Zane once glued pasta to cardboard and they treated it like it belonged in a museum. They always said Ivy was so mature for her age, but there was always a silent asterisk next to that. It meant she was expected to tolerate everything, the passive-aggressive digs, the fake compliments. She had to smile through comments about her hair being distracting or her voice sounding too intense. Malik, my husband, Ivy's dad, used to say we might be imagining things. That maybe it wasn't racism, just generational ignorance, that we couldn't prove what they meant. And I clung to that idea for a long time because the alternative, it hurt too much. But now, looking back, it was always there. That quiet, persistent undercurrent. I really thought that if we just showed enough grace, gave enough of ourselves, maybe they'd finally see her. Maybe they'd love her for who she is. That's part of why I paid for this whole trip. The resort, the food, the activities, even the flights, all of it. It was supposed to be a celebration. Malik and I hit a major business goal, and maybe deep down I hoped it helped bring everyone together. I should have known better. After I realized Ivy didn't make it to the resort, I asked them to check their bags, just in case. I said maybe, just maybe, her passport had slipped into someone's backpack at security, or got shoved behind a tray table and ended up with them by accident. Vanessa rolled her eyes. You think we took it on purpose? No, I said, keeping my voice steady, but if there's even the slightest chance it got packed by mistake, it's worth checking. They resisted, acted offended, tension climbed. Dad said something like, we're not the enemy here, but the more I pushed, the weirder it got. Zane suddenly couldn't meet my eyes. Sierra looked like she was holding back a laugh, and then Vanessa said, it was already too late. I turned toward her. What? She froze. I mean, I didn't. Dad jumped in. The point is we didn't plan for this to happen. Malik stepped forward. What do you mean too late? Silence. So I said it out loud. You found her passport. Still nothing. My heartbeat was pounding in my ears. You found it after she couldn't board? No one said a word. Sierra sank into the couch like this was a Netflix drama. Zane looked like he wished the floor would open up, and then Zane cracked. I just hid it as a joke, he mumbled. She was being annoying, going on about how Sudan was dangerous and how we'd get kidnapped or whatever. I thought she needed to chill. My mouth went dry. She told you it was unsafe. Yeah, he said like it was no big deal. She kept Googling stuff and warning us. It was annoying. Like, okay, we get it. It's not Disney World. I looked at my parents. You knew? Mom waved a hand like it was nothing. We thought she was overreacting, like always. She's not dramatic, Malik said, his voice low and steady. She's careful. She's smart, I added. She's 18 and stranded in Khartoum without a passport, and you're calling her dramatic? She could have gone to the embassy, Dad said. Like that solved everything. There is no US embassy in Sudan, I snapped. She probably figured that out after you left her. Vanessa actually rolled her eyes. She's an adult. What were we supposed to do? Skip the trip because she was being difficult? Malik blinked. Yes, I repeated. That's exactly what you were supposed to do. No one replied. Then Zane, helpfully like a punch to the gut, added, you should have seen her face when she realized. It was hilarious. Sierra nodded. She looked like she was about to cry. Malik stepped in front of me like he was physically holding me back. My hands were clenched so tight, my nails dug into my skin. Every cell in my body wanted to throw something. My words. A glass. The damn couch. But I didn't scream. I just said quietly, she's not dramatic, you're just cruel. And then I walked out, because if I stayed, I was going to explode. I think it's over. That she'll be fine. That we'll all just move on. That this was just some little miscommunication. But it wasn't. It was deliberate. It was ugly, and they're going to regret it. The moment we confirmed her passport was in Vanessa's bag, I stopped listening. Not because I was shocked, although yeah, that was part of it, but because I was already in motion. Malik kept staring at that suitcase like it had suddenly grown horns. They had it before the plane left, he muttered, voice low and shaky. They knew she didn't have her passport and they still walked away. I didn't answer. I spun around, headed straight for our suite and flipped my laptop open the moment I hit the desk. Airline website, flight search, Khartoum. One option, wheels up in 5 hours. Risky. Sure, but not nearly as risky as letting our kids spend another night in a do-not-travel zone with no documents, no guardian, and until 5 minutes ago, zero contact. Malik leaned over my shoulder. You stay here, he said, already pulling out his credit card. I'll go. He was right. Sudan isn't exactly safe for a young black woman, and it's not a picnic for me either if we need someone on this end to coordinate the fallout. We booked it. One way for him tonight, 2 returns tomorrow morning, him and Ivy. Clock's ticking. He needs to leave now to clear security, and we still haven't heard from her. I'd called her phone dozens of times. No service, no voicemail, just dead air. I tried again and again. On the 12th attempt, while the confirmation page refreshed, it finally rang. Once, twice, then Mom? I nearly dropped the phone. Ivy? Oh my God, are you okay? She let out a shaky breath. I've been calling and nothing went through. The Wi-Fi here is trash. My SIM won't connect. I thought my phone was busted. No honey, you're fine. We found your passport, I blurted. Dad's flying out tonight. He'll hand deliver it. Silence. And softly, you found it? I closed my eyes. Yeah, in Vanessa's bag. Another pause, followed by a sound I will never forget. half laugh, half sob of pure betrayal. So it wasn't lost, she whispered. I told them I had it. I begged them not to route through Sudan. I knew this would happen. I believe you, I said. Her voice cracked. They called me dramatic. Said I watched too much TikTok. Even the gate staff acted weird. Sudan wasn't on the list until Grandpa made a scene. Of course he did, I muttered. I kept warning them it was dangerous. Zayn told me to calm down, then my passport vanished. I gripped the desk so hard my knuckles went white. You're still inside the terminal, right? Yeah, haven't left. I planted myself at a food stall and pretended I was waiting for someone. It's loud, dirty. Some guy asked if I was married. Another offered to fix things for a favor. My stomach flipped. I heard Malik zipping a suitcase somewhere behind me. Dad's already on his way, I told her. He'll land in the morning. Stay put. Act like you're not alone. No more talking to random strangers. You've done everything right. A beat of silence. Tell him to hurry, she whispered. He's sprinting, I promised. When the call ended, I sat there for a second, listening to the mini fridge hum and the buzz of rage in my ears. Then I opened the hotel's group booking portal. First up, our suite, still paid. Next, Vanessa's rooms, then my parents'. Every last reservation I'd covered out of sheer optimism. Cancel. Let them figure out their own accommodations. Maybe they can find a clever reroute for that too. Malik stepped out with his shaving kit. She sound okay? She's holding it together but she's scared, I said. He nodded, glanced at my screen. What are you doing? Reclaiming my generosity. A tight smile crossed his face. Need a hand? Nope, got it. By the time he kissed my forehead and grabbed his bag, I was on the airline portal rearranging the family's return flights. If they could abandon my daughter in Khartoum, they can definitely haul themselves home from Crete, on their own dime, economy class, 3 layovers, 0 snacks. Petty? Picture your 18-year-old begging strangers for Wi-Fi while her cousins laugh about her panic. Then we'll talk petty. Malik and Ivy were due back the next evening. From the moment his plane took off, my heart ticked double time. I spent the night glued to flight tracking apps, refreshing so often my thumbs still ache. No sleep, not even a chair break, just caffeine and ice-cold fury keeping me upright. And then I heard it, knocking. Not polite knocking, the kind that bounces off tile walls and demands attention. It was coming from 2 doors down, my family's rooms. I stepped into the hallway just in time to catch someone yelling, "You can't do this, we have kids." A calm, unbothered voice replied, "Sir, your booking has been cancelled, checkout time has passed. If you don't leave voluntarily, we'll have to call the local authorities." Another bang, then a kid started crying, and then my mother, her voice sharp and brittle. She was complaining about some ridiculous overreaction. I turned right back into my room and shut the door, not to block them out, just to keep from laughing. They had the nerve to try spinning the whole thing the night before. My dad banging on my door like I owed him something. My sister pacing like she was the victim. My mom putting on her best "this isn't how we raised you" face. But they were already done in my head. The moment they left my daughter stranded, with her passport tucked away in one of their bags like a prank, that was the line. That wasn't family, that was sabotage. The night before, they came stomping down the hall like a bunch of toddlers mid-meltdown. Mom knocked so hard the lock actually rattled. I opened the door a crack, then a little more, then fully, so they could see my face when I said no. "You canceled the rooms," my mom hissed, "without even warning us." "Thought I'd let the front desk handle it," I said. Vanessa folded her arms. "That's cruel. Even for you. Cruel." I repeated, stunned. No, cruel was rerouting my daughter through Sudan and walking away when she couldn't get on the plane. "She lost her passport," Dad barked. "No, she didn't," I said, staring him down. "Zayn took it. He found it. And didn't say a word." "So no," I said, "I'm not footing the bill for your beach trip." "You're punishing all of us," Mom snapped. "No, you punished yourselves. I just stopped financing it." She stepped forward like she was about to give me a lecture, like I was 15 again. I didn't move an inch. "We've got children with us," she said. Sierra's in tears. Zayn is scared. "You're really going to make us switch hotels? Pay for our own rooms?" "I'm not stopping you," I said flatly. Vanessa's face twisted. "So that's it? One mistake and we're cut off?" "One mistake." I almost laughed. "You rerouted my daughter through a dangerous country to save a few bucks. Then let your son take her passport. Then you left her. Then you laughed about it." "So yeah," I said, "that's it." They just stood there like they couldn't believe I wasn't backing down. But I was done. "This conversation's over," I said, and closed the door. Back to the next morning, I could still hear them through the wall. The manager trying to hold the line. Something about policy. My dad's voice rising, trying to sound important. I caught the word lawsuit and had to bite down on a grin. Eventually it got quiet. That afternoon, I opened our hotel's group chat and saw a message from Sierra. "This new place is gross, no AC, beach is like 2 hours away, can we please come back?" I hit mute. Of course they tried spinning it to the rest of the family too. Text started rolling in. "Your mom said there was some mix-up. What's going on? Is Ivy okay?" I responded the same way to every single one. They rerouted Ivy through Sudan to save money. Zayn hid her passport, she got stuck. They left her. No fluff, no excuses, just facts. Most replies never came. One aunt simply said, "Oh," and that was it. I guess the truth sounds a little different when you say it out loud. Malik and Ivy landed around 9 p.m. that night. I met them in the lobby. She looked the same face, same curls, but something in her had changed. Like the innocence had burned away in 48 hours. I hugged her tight. Do we have to go anywhere else? She whispered. No, I said. We're not going anywhere. We stayed another week, just the three of us. We ate fresh seafood by the ocean, swam in turquoise water. Ivy slept in, read paperbacks in the sun. Malik rubbed my shoulders whenever I tensed up at a notification. I didn't answer a single one. When we got home, I stopped all financial support. No announcement, no dramatic email, just silence. They tried reaching out, calls, texts, guilt trips. The moment they left my daughter stranded, with her passport tucked away in one of their bags like a prank, that was the line. That wasn't family, that was sabotage. The night before, they came stomping down the hall like a bunch of toddlers mid-meltdown. Mom knocked so hard the lock actually rattled. I opened the door a crack, and a little more, then fully, so they could see my face when I said no. You canceled the rooms, my mom hissed, without even warning us? Thought I'd let the front desk handle it, I said. Vanessa folded her arms. That's cruel. Even for you. Cruel, I repeated, stunned. No, cruel was rerouting my daughter through Sudan and walking away when she couldn't get on the plane. She lost her passport, Dad barked. No, she didn't, I said, staring him down. Zane took it. He found it, and didn't say a word. So no, I said. I'm not footing the bill for your beach trip. You're punishing all of us, Mom snapped. No, you punished yourselves. I just stopped financing it. She stepped forward like she was about to give me a lecture, like I was 15 again. I didn't move an inch. We've got children with us, she said. Sierra's in tears. Zane is scared. You're really going to make us switch hotels? Pay for our own rooms? I'm not stopping you, I said flatly. Vanessa's face twisted. So that's it? One mistake and we're cut off? One mistake. I almost laughed. You rerouted my daughter through a dangerous country to save a few bucks, then let your son take her passport. Then you left her. Then you laughed about it. So yeah, I said, that's it. They just stood there, like they couldn't believe I wasn't backing down. But I was done. This conversation's over, I said, and closed the door. Back to the next morning, I could still hear them through the wall. The manager trying to hold the line, something about policy, my dad's voice rising, trying to sound important. I caught the word lawsuit and had to bite down on a grin. Eventually it got quiet. That afternoon, I opened our hotel's group chat and saw a message from Sierra. This new place is gross. No AC. Beach is like 2 hours away. Can we please come back? I hit mute. Of course they tried spinning it to the rest of the family too. Texts started rolling in. Your mom said there was some mix-up. What's going on? Is Ivy okay? I responded the same way to every single one. They rerouted Ivy through Sudan to save money. Zane hid her passport. She got stuck. They left her. No fluff, no excuses, just facts. Most replies never came. One aunt simply said, oh, and that was it. I guess the truth sounds a little different when you say it out loud. Malik and Ivy landed around 9 p.m. that night. I met them in the lobby. She looked the same face, same curls, but something in her had changed, like the innocence had burned away in 48 hours. I hugged her tight. Do we have to go anywhere else? She whispered. No, I said. We're not going anywhere. We stayed another week, just the three of us. We ate fresh seafood by the ocean, swam in turquoise water. Ivy slept in, read paperbacks in the sun. Malik rubbed my shoulders whenever I tensed up at a notification. I didn't answer a single one. When we got home, I stopped all financial support. No announcement, no dramatic email, just silence.